has pulled no punches at the start here for Katowice. They've been picking up big wins and turning heads, and now it's time to see if CIS can do the same. They go up against ENCE, none other than the undefeated Finnish roster, who have absolutely got easy in their sights. Whether or not they're going to be it's going to be easy for them, though, is up to Spirit. We're going to be seeing how this one does shape up. I'm your host, Machine, and I'm looking forward to sharing this desk with some beautiful people who I'll introduce in just a second, because first we are going to be talking about ENCE, and we're going to find out just how easy this game will be.
The minor went really well for us, and I kind of expected us to be this good, actually, as we had a 3-4 days boot camp, a lot of practice before that as well. So we came here really prepared individually and as a team. This was the goal for us since we created this team, to bring a Finnish team back to that pinnacle of Counter-Strike. So obviously we are really happy, and I hope we are not done yet.
There was any man. Kiebi first to fall. Sergey's found two. Smappy knows exactly where AZ is. Bit of damage, and AZ peeks wide. It's done.
We've been known to have problems in when we start the game. So we started pretty cold, train as well, like lost stupid rounds, and we did manage to pull it back. And then we told ourselves all the time that if we just manage to keep on this game and get it to the overtime and just stay there, we will win this match.
Right, we want to see a little bit more of that, but Flash is over, and Esperanto's left blind. Aerial in with
going to the major, I would say our first step is to make it to the Legends stage, so we don't have to go through minor again. So that will be our first goal, and then when we manage to do that, let's see, we will recalculate.
Now, the ENCE project is something that Alu had in mind for so long. I remember when he was AWPing for NIP and he talked of the dream of eventually being in a full Finnish roster. Well, it's very real now, and they have a shot at the Legends stage. That is their goal, as I think every team is going to be saying, of course, during the challenges. I am joined by Jacob Pimpvineker and, of course, Sean Scares Gares. Hey,
I'm doing really good.
Yeah, excited to do this with you.
Glad to have you guys join me.
We do have to be quick. It's going to be a quick one. Of course, no problem for you, Sean, I'm sure. Let's go ahead and start straight at the top of just how much resistance are we expecting from Team Spirit? I mean, they had to work in the CIS minor alone.
I think we're going to expect a lot of resistance. They played really well throughout the CIS minor. They impressed me. I think Jacob got to witness those games firsthand. They have quite a decent map pool going up against ENCE here. They both really like playing Mirage, and I think both teams actually have a 10+ win streak on it. So this could be a slugfest.
Yeah, I mean, Mirage good for both teams. We do have the vetoes up in front of us, and we've stormed through it. You can see how things played out. I'll let you think out loud, Jacob, as you cast your eyes over our final pick.
Yeah, I mean, Nuke, that's going to be super interesting. Not the map that I would expect these two teams to play, and I feel that ENCE may have been practicing Nuke a little bit more at home, you know, coming in here being prepared. Because I do agree with you, both teams have a relatively deep map pool, and both teams know how to play the different maps. So the fact that we get to see Nuke in a best-of-1 scenario at a major is surprising, but it was a map that was being played a lot in the CS minor, and it is a map that a lot of teams have adapted to play a lot more doing these best-of-1 scenarios.
Yeah, and I think being in Nuke, I think the Oppers are going to have a big role here, roaming around outside in the secret and ramp. So I think you really have to look for like Davcost and Alu to come up big here, and then the youngster Sergey, and I mean some Young as well as like the star riflers.
We do have equal, kind of similar stories, don't we, on both sides when you talk about the youngsters. Some Young was kind of equally compared to that of Sergey when there is in terms of just coming out of nowhere. Some Young in a kind of big star in the ESEAs and the FPLs, and now look at him now. He's truly looking like a force to be reckoned with alongside Sergey. So win conditions are AWPs, and it sounds like we're going to be jumping straight into this one. A nice, quick and easy one to get things going, and it's the lovely and talented Henry G and Sadakis to be guiding you through.
Thank you so much, Alex. It is going to be Nuke, and we're right into the action, it seems. A couple of kills have already taken place. We're in a 4-on-3 map, and I'll let you take it away.
Listen, everyone's going to speculate and cause point blame about delays, so why don't we do the opposite?
Yeah.
You want delays? No, you're going to get skipped. Okay? It doesn't matter. You didn't miss much. You missed some dually shots, though, Soy. He goes down. It's 7 that's actually going to get the kill. So SDY drops. And already things for Spirits on the difficult side. Bomb plant for ENCE. Another team that a lot of people actually put as 3-0, I saw. They were another one that was sneaking in there on Twitter from time to time.
I think there's a chance they actually This is a big step. Like, top 8 for me isn't unrealistic for them. I feel like the way they've been playing so far and the amount of heads they've turned, who knows? But looking so good so far. ENCE looking like they're going to be running away with this pistol. We missed the first couple of frags, but certainly haven't missed out on the last few. We'll see now 7 with just 6 HP there. Nothing ENCE Cody's got to do absolutely everything here. Nothing can be found. It's going to be Alexi B with the headshot, the P250. He'll find the final kill there, and it is going to be 1-0. A very important pistol round to find. The T side of Nuke. This is the most CT bias map we have in the pool right now. And if you lose a pistol in a best of 1, it can be a little bit disheartening, to say the very least. Is X7 coming up that ladder with the Glock. That is not an easy shot. You do not have accuracy on the ladder, but at close range with a weapon like the Glock is not a huge deal. And you can see them closing things out there as we get into round number 2. Full eco over the CTs. Team Spirit probably going to stack upper, maybe stack ramp. Those are pretty much the 2 options. You could nade outside as well, but they don't have those. So we'll see where they're going to go towards that upper bomb site. It is going to be where they're situated. You can see 4 players up there waiting for mistakes to be made. You don't really want to go towards upper if you're ENCE right now. That's obviously a very tight choke point. You're facing upwards, which can be very awkward kills. You want to go for a default outside. You want to be going down towards secret. You want to be splitting towards ramp, and just making sure you have trade potential. That's the aim of the game here. You have 2 rifles, make it 3 with the Galil, and stick together. Wolf back it up. They should be absolutely fine here. Maybe lose 1 or 2 kills at the very most. You can see this is how you should play a map. Use those smokes. Make sure you stay together. Don't give anything away. If you do lose a kill, throw that weapon out the map. As they head towards secret, that's where we want to see them actually focusing their efforts.
Well, their efforts wrapping toward heaven at this point for X7. Have an AK and firing directly toward the position previously occupied. And stickers all over that AK. Finally, they've got some.
They have. Just a little note for you as well. ENCE actually have a 75% win rate on Nuke, including online play. However, they only win 37% of their pistol rounds. They've already won that pistol, so this is looking very good for them. We talk over that round as it was a pretty foregone conclusion. The kills found, 5 of them for ENCE and just 1 for Team Spirits, but there come the rifles though. This is a bit problematic. Nuke is one of those strange maps where we'll see that weapon come up just there at the bottom. The auto shotgun is quite prevalent on the upper bomb side, especially above that hut. Can do a lot of damage, just like we saw there with the MP5. As Sergey, one of the youngest players in the tournament, starts lighting up the scoreboard there. 16 years of age, almost 17, but playing like a true man. We'll see whether he can continue as we get into it now. The first rifle round. Davkos with the scouts. Is that going to be enough to hold off outside? I'm not sure, but that nade certainly helps things out and softens them up and actually puts some of them in 1 bullet territory of this scout. Huge gap in the smokes as well.
Massive gaps. Ooh, he's actually tagged out. Good anticipation. That actually allows to a kill as Alu gets caught off, running down towards secret. Young got the kill on the cross. Seven's got Coldy as well. Pulls it at least back slightly, but this is a change of Spirit. Have the advantage. Davkos, by the way, let's not forget time in a couple of different teams. Flipside, notably, who were famously at every single major.
Yeah.
For a period of time. Obviously, that fell off pretty quickly, but they were always somehow there.
Absolutely. It was always a bit of a mainstay, but for now, ENCE just trying to claw back some kills. This round doesn't seem possible considering the positioning of Team Spirit here, Dima, with the great spot by the bomb site. It's a guaranteed frag with a bomb going down as well. 40 seconds remain. It's Aerial who has to try and fight back here, but nothing can be done. That's a huge round win for Team Spirit, considering they lost the first 2 rounds. That technically is kind of a force buy in that third, with the shotguns coming out, the SMGs and the scouts as well, but great utility damage. We'll find them a decent round, and we'll see how this all went down. That's the grenade at the start of referencing. Look how much damage that did. About 100 overall, so very, very beneficial grenade.
2-1, Team Spirit, CT side. Interesting as well, they mentioned it on the desk. Don't commonly see Nuke on a best of 1 or in a best of 1. There's been a number of tournaments in the past where we've waited until playoffs, best of 3s, before it even makes an appearance.
Well, there's a gap in the smoke. They seem to be there again. They haven't got their outside smokes nailed by the looks of things here, but Doesn't cost them a player just yet. They've got one in the form of Alexi B heading down towards lower through Secret. And they're looking to do a ramp split here. This is a classic Nuke strategy, but you have to try and trade this initial kill. You want to be on the action here. This is Davkos. Missed the shots there. With the AK, I thought he was good for at least one. But now that lower split really is a possibility. Alexi B, I was about to say, getting those vents. You saw the rotations. There's one player already down there. That's Dima. He'll find one, but that's it. Sophic will have to do whatever he can at this point to rotate through those secret steps. Bomb going down. This retake will be incredibly difficult if they decide to go for it. Two players heading towards ramp. That's where Aloe is as he falls back, realizing he's outnumbered. Drops back. He's got a flashbang. Does he want to use it? Doesn't look like it. Just going to wait for his teammates to drop their smokes and actually buy a little bit more time here as Seven will fall back and dodge the flames.
Around behind the vents, though, it's Alexip that's got to hold him off. MP7 in hand. He's dropped immediately as the AUG makes its way toward the site. Even checking out toward Dark, and it's going to be another kill. AUG, and then a pistol. Sufik's gone so aggressively as Evan. Oh, he's still got the lineup, though. He knows where that bomb is. He certainly does. And he'll hold the round just barely for ENCE.
That was exciting. The lower bomb site, it's such a procedure now. If that bomb goes down in an equal situation like that of 4-4, it's such an advantage for the T side. Mainly because that vent access now removed. You have to go flank all the way around through the halls where T's going to be waiting and crossfires with utility and SMGs in this instance as well. They bring it right down to a 2 versus 1, but the bomb was so far gone at that point. Not really much could be done. A desperate defuse there, but like you said, he knew exactly where the bomb was planted. Accurate spray control, made sure he took both players down. Never a doubt in his mind he was going to give that round up. As Sophic getting it done with the AUG. Nice close range shot was the only chance they really had. He turns down and gets this USB kill. This is what I thought there might be a chance. This moment here. Somehow manages to land the headshot on Sergey, but it wasn't quite enough. And without the X-ray on, you can see, well, maybe he can't.
Did you say USB kill, like Universal Service Bus? He put some data into that one?
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
That's what I was getting at. I'm glad you noticed.
Just checking.
They still have enough for a buy, though. Not the greatest, but they won with a similar complexion before. The Scout, the AUG, and the auto shotgun is out. Let's see whether Sundar Young can make that a powerful weapon. It's the only weapon, sorry, it's the only map you ever really see the auto shotgun on consistently. Eco kicked it all off back in the day, and it still lives on.
Yeah, I can understand it. Look, two angles, not just one, two angles that are both very commonly and actively used, and it's powerful in that situation. The downfall of it, if you will, that we've brought up in the past is quite simply that on rotation, and when the distance increases, it's not as viable. So far, the only person without a kill... Oh, I take it back. Davkos sits, get the assist, so I, for some reason, was thinking he was on the board by now, but Ariel and Davkos, the only two without. What a project this has been, though, ENCE. I mean, Alu, it seemed like his graveyard for a while. Now it's a revitalized roster, and it's without Sunny, who's arguably one of the better players in Finland. He's currently, obviously, with Mouse Sports, so it's impressive that they put this together, and credit to Not2 and the boys for doing so.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. As Alu, that's not a fight he really wants to be part of anymore. He takes a couple of shots there from the Scout and goes down to just 13 points of health. Sergey, though, the boy wonder, hoping to recover the situation, but this is where the shotgun comes into its own. This sort of range is where he should be able to find kills, but he's too fast. It's still a 4-4, but a huge advantage for Team Spirit in terms of the HP.
Ariel already downstairs as well inside of the vents with Alu. They're going to rotate back around 14 seconds. Bomb heading upper, but Davkos already shutting them down, still with the scout position. He wanted, oh, he gets there as well. Alexip's going to save them because they wanted to get that bomb to the safe side of the silos to avoid being spotted from heaven. They just barely got there in time, and a kill required to do so, but the HP is so low. Two AUGs that could easily punish 29, 58, and 13 HP on the three respective ENCE players. Alexip's going to try and play directly under heaven, dodges the flash, but wants them to drop and commit. At that point, be shown to the MP7. He's got problems, though. Sergey's already gone down. They're inside of the site. He knows it. He plays the silos perfectly.
No way!
He does.
What?
He gets it. Finds the kill. Sophic goes down, and Davkos, he's out of time. He's got a kit, but it doesn't play in his advantage, and he's forced off of it because he doesn't have the information. He'll find Ariel, but the round is over.
How did that Glock kill come in? No way! He should have been dead the moment he took down that first player of the MP7. The fact he's even got time to pull a Glock out, find a scrappy kill with it, is absolutely disastrous there for Team Spirit. ENCE find their fourth round and actually shut down the cash completely there at Team Spirit, and they've been crushed. That's a massive disaster for them. It's going to be Dafkos saving the AK, and I think they're going to enforce into this one still. Oh, this could be a death sentence quite early on into the game because Scouts, AK, CZs, are they fully investing? They absolutely are. And it doesn't get much better than that. There is an AUG for Sotfik. That's about as interesting as it gets. That grenade once more, though, will do damage. Not as much as last time, but still significant. A couple of players. Alu looking for these duels, that maybe this is a little bit too much as he takes a little bit more damage there, but luckily the smoke will buy him some time and allow him to survive.
Davkost does actually do further damage outside. This scout has been certainly a contribution or contributing factor at holding outside, but hasn't found too many kills. He's up to 3, so last round did get on there, get on the board if you want to call it that, but still couldn't win it out. He's gonna change his angle this time, play it locker, smokes down late. This
There's smokes suck outside.
That's yeah, and punished rightfully so. That time, I'll come back to that. Sumdai Young is still downstairs here. Backed it off toward control room, but he's actually got an angle onto aerial. Beta actually in, but good shot when they're around the corner by Alu. That was almost perfect. Little bait gets out there with the CZ. Come on, follow me. Chase me. Oh, my AK friend is here. Say hello to my bigger friend. But didn't work, in fact. Still, though, the HP is extremely low on the ENCE side.
Well, this should be a kill for Sumdai Young. Guaranteed at this point. There it is. Takes down Alu. Here we go. 3 versus 1. A clean finish there as it all goes wrong. So, what was the point you wanted to make on that smoke?
Yeah, the smokes have been horrible by default. That one was more of a communication issue because they're both there. Like, anyone could throw that. But then they both threw them to the backside of the red. Like, come on, boys. Yeah, figure it out. I'll throw you throw the one by you, I'll throw the one by me. Like, that's pretty simple at that point.
The fact the default smokes have consistently had gaps in them, I didn't think we'd see that at this major. Like, when this iteration of the map came through, we're seeing it here and there from some teams, but ENCE, that part of their game, I think, would be solid. Like, I wouldn't assume that would be a talking point at all. Maybe just some early nerves there. Maybe someone just getting a couple of pixels wrong on their throw. I'm not sure. But they have forced ball in response, and they're going for a quick outside play. No, was there a gap this time? I'm
not from this angle, but I think from lockers there might have been. Oh, we didn't get to see it. Davkost snapped away too soon. Either way, they're down, and this time without much damage. I won't say none, because Evan's taken a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's Demo who's been the player who has to rotate down every single time. Can he find the frag required? The bomb will be planted in the smoke, or will it? I think it's actually dropped at that point. They certainly wanted to get it down in that interim period, but it looks like the CTs have come out on top. There is a frag in response, and this AK will have to be pulled out quickly. Davkost still on the scout. He's had that like 3 or 4 rounds now. As things continue to be scrappy, there'll be a smoke towards main entrance. Davkost has to wait for backup before he challenges.
Alu, shotgun.
Oh, I thought he might make a play and go around towards ramp and try and backstab with that.
That would be remarkable at this point. T-side shotgun does have explosive potential on entry. We'll see if it can find something. In fact, he's actually going to play it. Oh, I assume off information from Davkost? Depends on what angle he likes to put himself in. Davkost's side, it won't matter in the end. His door opens, Sotfik was certainly ready, takes him down instead on the AUG. And Zevin, he'll suffer a similar fate to the same man. Barely got any damage in with the AK.
Lovely movement that towards the end, just to bait out that final player, give up his position, take him down as well, and it will be 4-3. Another force by situation that goes in favor of Team Spirit. Keeping their heads above water due to a few mistakes made by ENCE. With that bomb planted, they're averaging around $3,000 per player. I don't think they'll force this. They've got 4 on the board already. That is already incredibly good. The fact they're 4-3 up on the T side of Nuke, they don't have to be the team that's forced by and consistently like Spirit are, who are desperately trying to get back in this game. They go for a partial buy. Tech 9s, PD50s. There was a mad era where Alu was the only player purchasing the R8s. I'm glad he's seen some sense now and has gone against that philosophy. I think that's when he was in, was it Optic?
I disagree. Best gun in the game still.
Well, that's where you and him have similar interests. Perhaps you guys could have a chat about it after this game.
Maybe make a team together.
Maybe.
Ooh, look at the damage, but no kill, because both headshots actually came through the edge of the stairs, and that's the only thing keeping them alive at this point. As Coldy has to back off. Coldy, Coldzera, we've got multiple names everywhere now. Zevin, he's actually got Coldy down as he tried to get back over toward former Toxic. Remember, they took out those doors. That was such a powerful post-plant position, let's be honest. Blow out a hole in the door and just sit and watch. So probably for the best. Bomb was dropped. They'll recover that. Aerial with 2. He's able to do so. Took the bomb and then threw it backwards. They'll get the plant, or will they? Alexi, they wasn't quite confident in his positioning. They will get it down, but it comes at the cost of losing Alu before the post plant, and there's not a lot of HP between the two players left. Together or otherwise, they do have position. They've got coverage on that position, and there's no grenades to actually throw against them, whereas they've got two themselves to throw toward the bomb. They've got to flush them out of these stairs. They've got to go aggressive to do it, and that buys time. This isn't necessarily as easy as it looked. The shotgun will make them pay, though. Alexa easily takes the aerial, flanked around. He's gone all the way around the control room stairs, but he's lost it in the smoke, and he'll go down after the round is lost. We're tied up on 4.
Another close one there for ENCE. That certainly wasn't impossible for them. The fact they had those 2 HEs, the bomb down as well, just the shotgun, considering they were so low, was going to be very powerful there. The spray comes in, this time not as aware as to where the CT could be. Clean defuse in the smoke, and it will be all tied up here, 4-4. Remember, that was just a partial buy from ENCE. So as far as they're concerned, that's quite a successful round. Another pause from Team Spirit. As you can see, that's the second of the game as the AKs come out, and Alu can afford the AWP on the nose. He's got exactly enough to purchase the weapon. You don't need it on the T side of Nuke, so I doubt that will be the case, but maybe that's the discussion they're having now. Maybe Alexi drops the weapon, and or Alexi, I should say, and they go from there. As they discuss their options now, still yet to purchase between those two players. I don't think we'll see it all, but that of course brings his out for the first time. He's been slumming it with the scouts the last few rounds. It's been difficult, but he's managed to make it work and tie things up. It's anyone's game here. I would say ENCE would be the favourites, so pretty much anyone's book going into this one, but Team Spirit proved himself in the CIS minor, and still, once again, it's going to be Sundar Young with that auto shotgun. As we enter round number 9, it is AKs across the board. I think that's the right call. You don't have a player without armor or utility to 5 AKs, always going to be a lot more desirable than that, especially on Nuke. As they go into another default here, nothing too quick off the mark, but Alexi B looking to maybe get down that vent, but the smoke denies access, and the CTs can position accordingly. Now they feel like it's not a rush.
Coldy on top of the hut with the AK this time instead. So 4 rounds for ENCE to start it off is fantastic, but that came with a bit of issue or controversy, whatever you want to call it, with those gaps in the smoke that certainly show their T side isn't necessarily versed. But it's still 4 rounds, and it's Nuke. So you got to say that's a good start, and even to the point to say that they're in it in the second half. I know a lot of people complain about that with Nuke, that it's so one-sided, but we talked about this at GGBet last week in London. You actually have to admire it in some cases because it makes these incredible comebacks, and it makes it very dramatic.
And also the T side, you'll see innovation, you'll see executions and teams working out how to break down the defenses and what can be done. And I think we're still learning, and I think we'll see a lot more from this map at this major.
Smokes are better. They have fixed them. They've rectified the situation. Davkos no longer able to get a gap, to get vision when they're crossing over. So Alexib actually aware of that now. Rotates in behind. Oh, that's timing. Not quite James timing because it still works out. But he snuck around the smoke just as he would have been spotted. Still, though, the crossfires are in place, and they're very strong as Spirit gets 5 kills, lose only 1, and get their 5th round in doing so, taking the lead for the first time on the CT side.
Yeah, actually looking like they're up for this one now. It was a rough start with the emphatic pistol from ENCE, but overall now, have they got them broken down enough for an eco here? Aerial doesn't seem to think so, but we know that some of the more aggressive style riflers will go for these sort of buys and the teammates won't. I think they'll go for a partial buy with a tactical purchase coming in. So that's designed to open up the bomb site, allow the pistols to get a little bit closer. And there'll be the outside smokes again. They don't necessarily have to go off the smokes. You can deploy those smokes every single round and never actually go towards Secret. But they are going to send Aerial there alone, I'd imagine. We will see. That, of course, to where the potential gap in those smokes is seen so far, but like you said, I think they've rectified those now, and a clean cross comes through. Actually, 4 players trying to make their way through, and just 1 player, Sergey, at the back. He'll come down safely as well, but remember, it's been Dima who's been denying them everything towards lower, and he's trying to replicate that once again. As the same smoke comes through, designed to get a plant down.
Dima waiting. It will get the plant down, but he still finds a kill in the back of the smoke. Aerial is the one that suffers the fate. Stepping back toward lobby at this point at least keeps Sumdai Young a little bit occupied.
Oh!
And more than occupied.
That removes him from the equation. I think that's fair to say. It's a 4-on-2, a bit of a mind game there. Both players trying to suggest they've left that position. But now, Sophic and Davkos with the AWP in hand, not worth going for it. Yes, they have the smoke, but their money is okay. It's actually in a pretty strong position, but this round is just going to be almost impossible at this point. So great stuff from ENCE there. 1 AK and pistols. We talk about that potential. Just getting 1 kill off that rifle is enough to access the bomb site, especially when you've got flanks going in there towards lobby as well. So they had 4 go down towards secret steps, 1 holding the lobby with the deagle. He gets 1 kill and then takes that other player out, what, for 10 seconds, and then takes him down eventually as well. Great positioning, very calculated, and ENCE will tie things up to once more. It's going to be 5-5.
Yeah, 5-5 indeed. Good recovery. And good hold. That shot's incredible. The fact that they're still out toward lobby, though, X7 obviously what he wants to do is get towards Squeaky and watch the vents.
Yep.
Can still jump down there and help his teammates. Just so happens he gets in a confrontation, which just by getting in that engagement, never mind the good kill.
Exactly.
He's already done his job.
Yep.
He's keeping Young so far away from the rotation.
Even if he died there, like, he's done enough.
He bought it, what, 7-8 seconds at least? Like, that's huge when the bomb's sitting there.
And that's not small either. It's going to be Alexi B through the door, getting the wall bang, and is that going to open things up enough? That certainly will. Aerial rails Cody on top of the bomb site there, and it looks like this round is already over. It's going to be a 5-on-2. Davkost and Dima, once again, the same tag team duo. They had to try and pull it back towards the lower bomb site now, trying to survive, as they'll do a great job so far. Wonderful shot to take down Alu, a taste of his own medicine perhaps, with that AWP. But that's going to be another round for ENCE, and then taking the lead on the T side of Nuke. As the bomb will be planted, they just want to make sure that every facet is covered with smoke and crosshairs. And they've still got Molotovs, flashbangs here. There should be no danger at all of giving this one up. But will they go hunting for these remaining players? As we know, their money is still okay. You can see Davkost, especially if he survives, he can potentially drop 2 rifles. But that's if he needs to make sure he saves his AWP.
Sergey will back it off as well. The AWP is certainly going to be valuable to carry over. He's got 1 in hand. They have a buy available to them on that alone. But yeah, it's going to be hinging on the fact that they need the surplus that he has and possesses. He's up to 8 kills. Ariel's up to 5. Alu only on 3. Just to note, so. Alu the old guard, many fans.
Absolutely.
Many shirtless nights in Counter-Strike.
I liked what he said before when he joined this squadron. Everyone thought we're never going to see Alu again. Like, he was playing, remember, NIP, high flying at the peak of his career, one of the household names of the game. And when he joined the Finnish roster, we thought, wow, that's such a downgrade for himself. Like, what's he done this for? But we could say all we want at the time. It certainly worked out now. He's playing for a Finnish team that looked deadly.
To be fair, joined them twice. Let's not forget that he was on FaZe for a while. And even on FaZe, it was like the NIP Alu. He came back just like I thought Kiyoshima and Alu, that's still a winning roster on FaZe. Maybe not the same that they have now, sure. And maybe not going to win every event like was expected of them when they put that team together and made those changes. But still a damn good team. And then, well, cut. Well, guess I'll just go back to ENCE now. Go back to that safe haven that at least will pay me while I don't have a team. Now it's turned to a team of its own right, and it's a reinvigorated Finnish scene as a result of it.
Speaking of which, the old dog, 3-9. It's the younger boys that are taking charge here. They are, remember, on the T side of Nuke. They currently have the lead 6-5. And Alu, like we said, it's not an AWP-centric match, so understandably not as loud as you would be on a different one. Like, for me, Inferno is his bread and butter. That's why he looks unbelievable. That's when you bring out the AWP and
yeah, he's super aggressive down mid too. He'll like pick alt mid.
Yeah, so not really that sort of map, but he can definitely turn things around in his individual game on the CT side. That's where his AWP will be obviously a lot more impactful. As Ariel looks to cause a bit of impact himself, they really are focusing towards that outside area, trying to get 4 players down there consistently. They're getting the bomb down almost every single time they do this, so why stop? And finally, there is an adjustment. Davkost has got no impact at all holding that ladder position. These smokes now adjusted. He's not finding kills. So this is a very common position now. CT AWPer, hit 1 shot, fall back, hold the vent, go back again. He's just holding more defensive lines after getting 1 kill. Hopefully, hits the shot. That's Sergey down to 15. You can see now another defensive line, drops a decent grenade, and will he be able to follow things up? Of course he can. And that's the bomb being dropped at the vent. Looking for another no-scope here, but going to be pincered in and taken down.
I thought he was certain for another, but he just got caught out in between peeking and covering off the angle as the jump came through. That's going to cost them. Opens the bomb back up as well with a minute to work with. ENCE looking for number 7, T-side of Nuke. And Alexi lurking outside is going to make that more likely. Some dude die young, and he did. At the minute mark, he's gone already, and it's on to Coldy. Sotfix downed as well.
2 unbelievable sequences there. I thought Sergey, after he got that 1 frag by the vent, he was done for. The peak coming in from the CT and the other vent, no chance he's going to survive. He blows him out the water there. And then, of course, AlexDB actually stepping up outside as well. Great transfer to the second player towards the garage. Just individual prowess there coming out on top. Nothing too strategic, excuse me. As I said, they're doing those same smokes outside. The one by the red boxes, 2 to cover them towards Secret, and they're happy to sending 4 players down there again and again, because like I said, they're getting the bomb planted, they're getting lower control, and they're finding the kills, so why not? If you're smart now, if you're the ENCE game leader, you're thinking, drop the same smoke, let's do an upper rush, let's do 1 player down there and go towards ramp. You can start doing variations of this as they start adapting and really get inside their heads. But we're getting to the dying stages of the first half now. It's going to be ENCE 7 and Spirit with 5, and their money really isn't looking too good there. Got an org to bring to the next round, but overall, what have they got, like 2,500 per player, something like that? Yes, a little bit more in some cases. And the way they've been force buying throughout this game, I wouldn't be surprised if Davkos brings out an orb now and they try and see what can be done with the AWP and that safe rifle. This was the shot that really got me. How he's ready for that, I don't know, but fantastic work.
Such a solid aimer, Alex. We talked about this. The young guy came into this team, another player that came up through a pug system that definitely was noticed by people as an individual talent. I think streaming a little bit as well.
Yeah.
At like 16, he was streaming and whatnot, and got picked up, got given the chance, and we've seen that from a lot of these sort of tier 2, tier 3-ish rosters. I hate that stipulation because what does that mean? But you know what I mean. Not the top teams that can afford to take these chances. Guys like Rops get picked up by Mouse Sports, nothing to lose, and then boom, they turn out to be a fantastic talent. The team gets much better for it. It's worth taking the risk.
Absolutely. And that's why we had those academy teams maybe a couple of years ago. Don't see them anymore since the ruling. But
yeah, I think there's still a few in existence. They just don't do as much anymore.
That was the whole idea, right? You can farm these players up and keep them contracted in your organization. And when they're ready, actually bring them up, which we've seen many times. Look at the likes of Gade, Mertz, for example, just to name a few. Golden from Fnatic. Like, it does work. And young players, given the right opportunities, can show you what they're made of. They just need that chance. There's a gap in that smoke as it is addressed there. It's been such an ongoing storyline that ENCE has dropped those smokes, 4 players outside, no one can stop them, but where's the adaptation here? Why are Team Spirit only really trying to put that orb up close range? That's the only real change they've made, but this time Cody, to be fair, is down there towards lower. They're at least reading that situation and maybe able to get a bit of damage off here, but if the smoke comes to the left-hand side, they focus windows, he could be in a lot of trouble.
Decent old headshot angle, but Alu finds exactly that on the AK. Forget that little scope, he doesn't need it. He just needs 1 button. That was 1. Alu's going to get inside of the vents now. Speaking of mice, he'll burrow into the hole and watch to make sure no one drops down below. Bomb still on the ground, not yet in a position to plant, so 46 seconds. Demasic as well. Still call him Demasic. He's playing under Dima now, but playing on this without the vent coming in beside him, such a great position, post-plant especially, but certainly to hold the site from, as Alexib yet again on the lurk finds Sochvik, and forget the fact that they were, oh my goodness, downstairs. They're going to rotate back around. Alexib showing off exactly what young people do with their reflexes and aim. He finds 2 more. Finally, Sergey goes down. 18 seconds. Bomb to be planted. Alu has 1 HP while planting, but team is nowhere nearby and doesn't have a nade to throw in his direction anyway.
So just when they adjust, when they get players down towards lower, they focus their efforts there. All of a sudden, back towards upper, boys. We're changing things up and we're going to hit every single shot. I have to say, Spirit incredibly unlucky there. That shotgun encounter towards main entrance left Alu, like you said, 1 HP. 1 more pellet would have done it. This was it. As Alexei got the alley-oop, his teammate set him up with the flashbang there, and he hit some remarkable shots. You can't argue with that. You don't need to break it down. That's just raw talent. And its very essence as we get into round number 14. An eco for Team Spirit, and their Spirit might have been crushed at this point. Very difficult to imagine a world where they bring this one back. They're going to need a pistol in the second half. This round's pretty much a lock-in for ENCE, going to bring it into 9-5. They post double digits on the T side of Nuke. I feel like that's GG already, but there's a bit of damage towards main entrance, courtesy of Alexei B, taking Davkos down to 55, so decent wallbang as they stack the main entrance by the looks of things. Not seen that for a while.
Ariel caught out after putting some aggression toward the main entrance. Team is actually the one to turn it around. 5-7. I still very much adore the 5-7. Often swapped out for the pistol that occupies its place in the inventory, so you don't see it as common. Coldy on top of Hut will actually try and get a shot towards Squeaky. Meanwhile, Zevin, realizing that they are on pistols, starts to push the players back on ramp. They can create some space in that position, given that they've already lost outside. This Deagle, though, that could be a problem for them. They've got to be a little bit careful. So Sochvik's going to back off, and that will Now put the aggression elsewhere. Does the foot show? Not quite. Sergey might think he's cleared this off. He's got to be very careful if he walks through that door, because even if he looks up, even if he finds that, does he spot out Davcost, who would swing around and play off that aggro? We just snapped away, but it's seemingly so, because Sergey's found the kill on Coldy. Davcost, now aware they're both inside of the site, actually has them on low enough HP. This is winnable. They've got the advantage on 26 seconds, and despite all the cleverness of ENCE in the last round to rotate the defense, they're left a little bit lacking in terms of positioning. It doesn't matter. They've got kills. I'll stop talking.
As long as they win the round at this point, it's okay. Like, it's the round number 15 next. All they need was that number at the very top of the screen. Sure, a little bit uncomfortable, but they've got maximum money. And Alu brings out the AWP on the T side. He gets to show us what he's made of here, just to have a little bit of fun towards the end. Definitely a viable weapon on T side of Nuke. You just don't see it as often, perhaps. It's not required, as now we have a full buy for Team Spirit. They have the AWP and 4 Orgs. So that's an incredible weapon for a map like Nuke. Lots of long-range encounters, and I'm sure we'll see a few kills come courtesy of the scope. Aerial once again challenging outside. Same smoke, same flashbang, same nade he swallows, but it hasn't slowed him down at all. As Soppic now will try and listen out for the footsteps. You can see those smokes. Perfect. His area will be taken down, but they know exactly where he is, and that's a great shot from Alu. That AWP leaves him on 1 HP.
Again? How many times is he going to have 1
How has he done
HP?
that? Okay. Incredibly lucky for that to happen twice in 2 rounds. Okay.
Alu, just, he likes to challenge himself. He's got the op, though.
Exactly.
Just avoid the nades. Could be all right. Speaking of the nades, no incendiaries and only 1 HE. So that's really all he has to watch for. Davcost will get Zevin down. He'll spot as well the Molotov being thrown out towards Secret. Deep smoke this time. Only takes 1 to cover the gap between the blue crate. That's why they throw it. And Alu even watches above it to see if someone's going to rotate, and accounts for the fact that they need to spot. Change that again. Big garage. Getting there quite quickly. He could be in a perfect position. We talked about the op. He had it all right, but got it all wrong. As he has to get aggressive. Some die young will take down Sergey. Davcost easily removes Alu with that 1 HP and therefore gets aggressive. That puts pressure on Alexib because they need to. Don't give him an inch. Close the gap, put the pressure on, and they'll finally win out of the round. 9-6 at half, but that's T-side for ENCE.
A scrappy half, but they stuck to their guns. Those outside smokes were a little bit difficult to watch to begin with, but once it came together, it seemed like that system's working out very nicely indeed for ENCE. Can they keep it up? We'll have to find out after this break.
Grab your, it's 9-6. I'll let you fill in the blank. 9-6 in favor of ENCE after starting on the T side of Nuke. A best of one, and it's Nuke. We've got all sorts of exciting things going on today. Aces aplenty, team kills everywhere, and some upsets. It's day one of the major, of a long major. 3 weeks to go, and it's the round of 24 here in Katowice. And this one is still, I would say, all to play for, but I'm not sure with ENCE at 9-6 on CT.
Spirit need this pistol, and it's certainly possible to do so. Looks like they're going to blow the door out and maybe Molotov towards main entrance. That's exactly what's going to happen here, and they'll go towards ramp. So just a bit of a ruse there, trying to suggest they're rushing towards upper, but X7 will actually get the information, and here come the headshots. It's a ramp stack. They weren't expecting the player in the corner, and it's an absolute massacre in the ramp room. As you could see, Team Spirit, you're so used to the idea, the concept that there's going to be one player ramp, maybe two. So they spotted the one on the ramp, then the one at main entrance. They didn't account for a third player there. Whether that's an anti-strat and to watch their demo and know they go towards ramp, or whether they're just very in tune with the current state of affairs with T-pistols, this is where Sergey just gets 3 kills for himself in more senses than one. The fact he gets 3 kills in general, but the fact they're not looking at him makes them very delicious to devour as they run into his crosshair. Absolutely brilliant stuff.
Fantastic for ENCE. Now find themselves on double digits already with momentum firmly on their side.
Yeah, no bomb plan as well. Very important note. As, yes, they can buy up next round, but that will be AK armor, 1 smoke, 1 flash per player. That's enough to win a round, but they want to see if they can take some money out of the hands of ENCE here. They can get maybe 2 kills. That would be at least enough to start the conversation, but before I can even finish the sentence, Matt, it's a clean sweep with no damage done.
No damage done, which also means no guns lost, which also means no reinvestment, which now means lots of things. That's
Lots
kind
of
where
things.
I'm going. But it means that it's going to be a much more difficult affair for the T side to break down the CTs.
Now, back in the day, Nuke did actually have plenty of options on the CT side. If you wanted to get aggressive at ramp, for example, you could set up a couple of flashbangs, push towards the lobby. We don't really see that anymore. You could maybe stack outside or towards secret steps of those SMGs. I'm not sure what ENCE are going to do. I like to think they're going to mix things up and kind of present something a little bit more interesting. We'll see. They're taking 3 players outside, and that's what I was looking for. So they're going to challenge and actually use these SMGs up close.
See if it works. We saw from Heroic S-Tag, not going to be in this event, obviously, with that new lineup. He was exceptional at pushing outside of the CT side. Somehow, even when they knew he was there, he just got away with it. Got so many kills. It's not quite going to work out, so that aggression actually is to the detriment of ENCE and welcomed by Team Spirit, who desperately need back into this game now. A part of me wants to think the reason you don't see that same aggression toward lobby from ramp anymore is because you no longer need to do it as a counter approach. Although, okay. As always, we mention it, and someone does it. It's late in the round, though. It's not as early. Get some information from Zevin. It's the ramp players often aren't getting pressured as much, I think, in this version of Nuke, and therefore I think they're rotating off a lot sooner. They feel more confident in just being like, well, they're not coming this way. I'll go somewhere else.
Exactly. Oh, my God. I was about to say, this round is looking incredibly good for Spirit, but all of a sudden it turns on its head. They're losing players everywhere. Cody's actually even got 1 HP, but there's Davkos fighting back. He's got to go through the flames. This has gone right down to the wire. Alu up against Cody. Remember, no HP to his name and no bomb now. He has upper and 2 flashbangs, but still, he just needs to outposition Alu here. This isn't impossible. 35 seconds remain. He can't really rest on his laurels here. He's going to have to pick up that bomb. Alu is predicting it's going to be a lower plant here. That's all he can do. Remember, there's no vent to jump up to and quickly rotate towards upper. So it's a gamble in many senses of the word, and he's hoping that Cody maybe overthinks the situation and run down the vent and hopefully plant lower. If he plants upper, Cody actually has a pretty decent chance of winning this, where he can really outposition Alu, and that looks to be the case.
He must be feeling a little bit like Alu at this point, too. 2 HP. We saw Alu on 1 twice. Bomb's going to be planted, however. That still gives him a chance in this with the AK. There's no question about that. Alu's got to go the long way around as well. That should start to indicate Cole. I mean, I guess you could still rotate back through lobby. You could still be coming up from secret, but certainly going to give him a lot of time, and Alu, realizing this, has to make a bit of noise up the back side of the ramp. Still wants to stay silent so as to work this in his favor. He might, in fact, know that he's low, so by... Oh, he's going to go. I was going to say, by staying silent, he thinks he still has the advantage, whereas if it was a straight one-on-one in the end, he'd just kill him straight up. Oh, good play from Coldy. He might try and just rush it, get in there, and just take the fight. He does that anyway, and Coldy, with 2 HP, holds it off and wins it just barely for Spirit. That nearly fell apart, though, that whole round.
And that's what I was mentioning about the fact the HP doesn't actually have a huge impact on the round there. The fact he gets the bomb down with so much time to position it somewhere perfect like that, Alu can only really pray that he makes the correct decision out of maybe like 50 different possible spots for him, as then it will be Around for Team Spirits, 11-7. Money's still available, but it's starting to deplete now. Sergey down to the MP5, but the AWP for Alu as he goes towards main entrance, looking for that opening door push, but not going to happen. It's Aerial who gets in towards the garage and can listen out for footsteps as they cross over, but they're going to be very sneaky and cross over silently towards lower. You've got 3 players, make it 4, heading towards that position, but here he is. Waiting. This is what we wanted to see from Team Spirit in the first half. Alu will nail the first shot. They bait him out and he'll hold a different line this time. Drops the smoke just to allow rotations and to stop them overwhelming him. He can go for a little bit of backup here, change his angle up and just hold up essentially as Team Spirit now, still with the majority of their grenades, have most of their players towards lower and one holding lobby.
Dima will play and flirt on the backside of that smoke. They break them down now. They can get to 11-8. It's last buy for ENCE before any go. They could claw their way back into this. The fact that it's best of 1, Nuke was the map left over, doesn't indicate that either team necessarily picked it. So both should have somewhat of a plan. Obviously, we saw ENCE struggling with smokes early on, but still had the pistols and the gun rounds in their favor. Zevin, good position. Oh, good shoulder peek. I don't think it was actually intentional.
I don't think it was either.
But it nearly worked for him. As Zevin missed out on the few first shots, still recovered the situation. And it's a 4-on-3. As he gets aggressive, wraps around. Actually got the kill on some Die Young. Davcost responds to it, and the bomb's actually upper. 2-on-2.
Good call there from Spirit. They could feel it all falling apart as now Davcost 6 HP. It's Cody joining him.
It's 3-on-2, my bad.
3-on-2. It's still an exciting prospect. We'll see if Spirit can hold on to it. They've got a lot of work to do, and Cody knows he has to do most of the heavy lifting here. He's got the HP. He needs to find a pick. This could be the first. He misses the shot and not the second. Kills coming in from both sides, but now the 2 versus 1 lies in favor of Team Spirit. It's Alu with the AWP. Nothing can be done, and with a little bit of help from his opposition, it will be Cody to close things up.
How many team kills are we going to see today? Peter from HLTV, what's the most amount of team kills on in one day?
A very specific.
Hey, come on, Peter.
There.
You gotta know.
He's gotta know. Well,
that said, that's 2 rounds in a row Cody's clutched.
Yeah, and he had to as well, though. Like I said, his teammates such low HP, he had to challenge. He had to be up close and make sure he was stopping them coming in towards the bomb side. They got anywhere near the bomb, it was over. And it got so chaotic, the team kills come through. We might not be done here just yet. It's the full eco for ENCE. Should be 11-9 after this one. Be 2,000 for 7. The rest of them on USBs. Outside push. Going to find the first kill, but not much more, I'd imagine. Nice spray control from Cody will allow them to take a nice comfortable lead here, and that's going to be the round. Sergey, the last player remaining. If he gets a kill, that's great, but they should not allow him to do so. He'll just be trying to bait out the low HP player, but he'll just hold in position and wait for this final kill to come through. And his Team Spirit back on their feet, at least. Financially, after this round, going to have some money in the bank, especially with 4 players surviving. Already nice and patient, manages to pick the round up 11-9. As now, ENCE do have the option to take another partial buy. As you can see on your screen, there's enough for a buy. It wouldn't be the best, so they don't have the AWP there. They wouldn't have all their grenades, but it's enough to get something together. It looks like that's the option they'll go for. With the lead they have, and considering their CT side might have opted for a partial buy, but they're going to go for it and try and answer back quickly here. And still will there be the AWP? I don't think it's really possible. So they'll go for 5 rifles, 2 of which, or just 1 is an AUG. And they've got basic utility here to work with as we go into round number 21. 7 holding the ramp as the outside smokes, as usual, deployed at the start of the round. Very similar sequence to what we saw from ENCE. A lot of teams play this map in a similar style. Alu, though, he's got the M4 in a very defensive position, playing with an Aerial, who's holding main entrance.
Sotfik taking advantage of the smokes down, actually, with a bit of courage, will peek through and reveal nothing, which is exactly what he would have wanted to reveal. Information in itself, no one there, and now they can play off of that on the Spirit side. Flash, and they'll actually back off of it. Toward lobby instead. Bomb there as well, all 5 players. Sergey, he'll wait it out. Oh, wow. That's a nice boost. It's going to be a very tough position. He gets two. That's all he needed. All he needed because Alu's inside Turnpike. He's able to spot out, bomb down. Watch the timing, though, because Some Die Young takes down Alu with the MAC-10 at range. No gun in his hand. He was throwing out a smoke instead. Sergey is another incredibly young talent that these guys have taken a chance on. He, as well, is an aim star, the youngest on the team, and he's been exceptional since he's joined.
Absolutely agree. And here he is right now at the main entrance. We'll see if he can find the kill to close out this round. The bomb drop suggests he certainly can. He actually gets the dink on the final player there as well. So it will be 12-9. A bit of a difficult buy there for the Finnish boys, but they managed to make it work with a great boost towards round, which we don't actually see every game anymore.
Here's something to note, though. The fact that they were so efficient over the last few rounds, there's lots of money left over still. And this could be a potential reset against ENCE. So they're going to be very careful in this round to make sure they don't give anything away. Make sure they lock down this CT side because we're still only at 12. 4 rounds to go. Spear breaks them again. You're going to have to start worrying about that in the long stretch.
You're absolutely right. This is a very, very important round. Alu has the AWP, and it seems like Spirit are more than happy to challenge outside, just like ENCE were. No smokes deployed to cover the secret cross just yet, but it sounds like they'll be on their way. Molotov to push back any potential overs on the other side there. So this is going to send one player down right now towards secret. That's going to be Sopvik, who has the Krieg for now. Not the best close-range weapon, but nice to see it being brought out. It's not as prevalent, of course, as the AUG. As we look to go towards ramp. Defensive hold from the CTs. You have to see them focusing most of their efforts towards lower. Not feeling 100% comfortable with the situation. Still plenty of time here. Some Die Young holding lobby. His teammates getting set up a ramp. That smoke will bounce off and take vision away from this player in particular. That's Alu. Miss froze the incendiary. We actually wanted to get that down. Would have actually been quite valuable. Still had a chance to get a pick and fall back here. They have to try and drop towards lower. Surely flash it first. Molotov will do the trick and send him packing. And now they do have control, at least of ramp. Next step is, though, getting the bomb down. They've got no smokes, just one Molotov, and X7 in a great spot to find kills here, but they're aware of it, and now that should be their cue to plant because they don't have much time or much utility in the 5-on-3.
Alexib still in behind the doorway, wanting to enter the site from decontamination, but no commitment yet from the bomb. They're actually going to rotate around. You can hear them coming. Finds out the first and gets a gift in the second. Dima pre-fired it, but wasn't fully around the corner. That allowed him to get the headshot. Coldie's the third, and third's a charm. But bomb to go down, you still have to consider that Alu's sneaking in with an AWP, and Sergey's alive. He certainly hasn't had the most resounding contribution in the early parts of this game, but since in 16 kills, he can certainly be a factor. Down for the vents, though, remember, no access directly to the site. That buys more time. And a smoke off on the door? It's a tough decision. I think they might just back out secret.
Yeah. With the AWP up, the money broken, Davkos probably takes one player down with them, and that's going to be the most valuable target. Alu will lose his AWP, and Sergey, like you said, the youngest player on the squad, and one of the youngest at the tournament at 16 years old, will be holding on to the M4 best he can, trying to maybe get that AWP. If he can grab that at the end, the bomb blast actually might help him out and blow it towards his direction. Actually does, guaranteeing that he's not going to go down. He at least takes that to the next round. Alu, at one point, you'd put him up there in like the top 5 AWPers in the world. And we'll see if he can roll back the years somewhat. He might not even be given the weapon, considering he hasn't got armor and Sergey has. He might just hold on to it. We'll see if that's the case. Actually goes straight into the hands of Alu. So there we go. It'll be down to him. I don't think we'll just see a standard outside play. I would assume he goes down towards secret or maybe ramp just to kind of mix things up instead of playing the very standard CT spawn position. But who knows what he'll bring to the table. He's heading towards garage for now and looking to open things up quickly, but the smoke blocks his vision.
Yeah, he was a little late to get that jump shot. Not literally jumping, but the jump on the shot. You will certainly hear them, though. Get downstairs. Alexib's there, CZ in hand.
Good smoke.
It delays them.
Alu back into the picture.
It's a good point. Puts them right back into his clutches. His bear trap, and he's got 2 closing down on them. Some Die Young will eventually kill off Alu, but watch out because Dima's still in that similar position behind the, behind the crates. That gives them outside. Sergey with an MP9 takes down Silo. That means they pretty much have to make a commitment at this point. They can't sit around outside. Sure, they have the range game over the MP9, but they need to take advantage elsewhere on the map, being down and now a 4-on-2 and knowing he's so far away. So naturally they go toward heaven. They want to exploit the upper site. Dima does exactly that with the AK, but responded again by Sergey. He finally drops. And it's Zevin and Ariel versus Some Die Young, who goes late into this round, perhaps because only the good die young.
We'll see what's capable of as he'll drop a smoke to buy him a bit of space and time here. Remember, no kits on these CTs and now no upgraded weapons. They both have PT-50s. They've locked down his location and somehow come out on top. And I have to say, that's got to be one of those clutch smokes I've seen in some time. The fact that it looked like that round was over, there was one player towards lower. That's Alexi B. He doesn't find any kills that round, but he actually drops that one smoke. As we said, as soon as that smoke is dropped, it funnels them back towards outside. These guys aren't aware that Alu has the AWP. He's ready and waiting, gets 2 kills, makes things very chaotic indeed. All of a sudden, those MP9s come into the picture, and it all falls apart. That's a great round, and just one fantastic smoke shifts it into this position where Alu can start doing damage to AWP. His first real impact with the weapon, and it might just save the day as well and stop them getting back into this one. As the scoreline goes to 13-10, we'll have a tactical timeout, and the final one of which for Team Spirits. You get 4 per map. It allows the coach to come in, discuss options tactically and emotionally sometimes. The bickering can begin and the main objective can be lost in all the chaos as you'll see them consider their options here. Will they buy though? That's the question. They've got 3 players who really can't afford to, and they're going to go for it and mix things up. So they've had to distribute the wealth. They've had to drop rifles to players without much money, and so they can buy armor and grenades around that and just try and plug holes, and someone's gonna be left with nothing. And this occasion is Davkos, who has a PT-50 and a bit of utility, and that's it. But they have got 2 AKs, 2 UMPs. They'll have to do something tactical here. It has to be the case. A fast Molotov towards the upper bomb site here as Ariel spots 2 on the silo.
Certainly does, and he's got Dima down. Coldy tried to swing back in, and no such luck. Alu's there with the AWP. Removes him quite easily, I have to say.
Not all is lost, though. The fact they can get this bomb down lower, potentially, this is still winnable.
And look at how aggressive Some Die Young's going to be. They know they've already won out secret.
Yep.
Fence clear. Where's the obvious next place you got to sort? Well, it's exactly here. UMP to do it as well. Sodfik playing with him. They've read this well. They know exactly where this retake wants to at least focus from. It's the only place they've got a stance on, and they play it to perfection. Crossfire, double peek, and it works out. They even trade on the last. Alexip down. It's Sergey late in the same position. Oh, I thought he was going to follow that all the way through the garage. Is he aware that Sodfik's wrapped around behind? He certainly is, and they get both kills. They've still got the round. Oh, do they?
Do they have the kit? Yeah,
he's got the kit. He should be fine. He's absolutely got away with it. I had to hold my breath. Sometimes I talk so loud that I can't hear the beeping in my own ear, Henry.
I have the same problem with you talking so loud. That was the problem.
Well, I'm sorry to everyone on Twitch chat who probably has the same problem too, all right? We can't win them all.
Well, they do win that round. ENCE, that is. It was a little bit touch and go, but that's a big one for them to pick up. And like I said, in that 5 versus 3, we talked about it earlier, how strong the bomb down and lower is these days. Even in a 5-on-3, there's a chance. Yes, they had to fight up front towards that ramp room, but it came down to the 2 versus 1 there, and that could have fallen apart. Luckily for ENCE, so it doesn't. They get 14-10 as the partial buy comes in. Team Spirit now really coming to the last few lifelines. It's the nade smoke combo towards main entrance, and Ariel will be challenging towards outside. This is a big spray down coming in. Multiple kills going to be found. First 2 go in his favor. Ideally, he just wants to get the hell out of there, but he's not that sort of player. He likes to frag. He likes to be part of the action, but that's maybe a little bit too much. He'll go down to 30 HP and still hold towards Secret as his teammates back him up, and yes, indeed, should have got out of that point, but still, it's a guaranteed round. Some Die Young will be left in the 4 versus 1, and this is for match points. 15 on the board, locked in for ENCE, and there will have to be a perfect game from Spirit now to get us to overtime.
Ariel, the only one lost. You're right, they've got to force out overtime at this point. It seems certain. Some Die Young with the only kill in this round needs an ace. Aces seem common today.
Well, that's true.
Peter from HLTV, what's the most amount of aces in one day? Cheers in the background from probably our B stream.
Yeah, we haven't checked in on that in a while. This one's taken all of our attention, and rightly so. That's been quite an entertaining game, and 7 will close things out. Like we said, there was pretty much a 0.1% chance you could do anything with that. As it goes 15-10, they have to buy here. They took a partial on the previous, and as mentioned, it will have to be the perfect game of CS from this point. 5 clean rounds in a row.
That's a tight one. G2 Vega Squadron 13-13.
I put Vega Squadron to beat them. I am 0-3 on predictions today. So far, it's not gone well. Need that one to come in. Really do. But we'll see. It will be AKs and the cheeky Galil at the end for Some Die Young as we get into round number 26, potentially the last round here. Alexi B on top of the huts. Alu with the AWP. They shoot at the vent at the start. And Alu has at least vision outside for now. Molotov to push back any potential players towards those steps. No one there. Remember, one more round will do it. Team Spirit try and work out how they can break down the defense.
Young to go through the door with Alexib on the other side. Minute 14, no commitment. This is almost a standard matchmaking call. All right, at this time frame, we're going to do exactly this. Obviously, a little more structure than your standard matchmaking, but that's basically what they wanted to do. The problem is that when their hand was forced, it actually favors them. Kobe finds the kill. They only get one back. Sergey down to Young. And excuse me, I take that back. It was Ariel. Sergey's still on the site. How dare I confuse the two? Because Sergey could be the hero and not the villain. He still goes down at 7. That's pulled it slightly closer. And a 2-on-1. Alu, the last alive, drops in with a Tech 9 and has the bomb. Unaware, however, oh, he is aware. He's very aware that they've gone up behind him in heaven, and the AWP closes it out. He might have been slow to start, but Alu shows off why the experience prevails as ENCE pick up a win.
He finishes piping hot there. He had like 3 kills towards the end of the first half. He said the CT side he could show us what he's made up of the AWP. A flashy finish there and a solid game from ENCE in general. They look very confident throughout that one. Team Spirit put up a fight. I thought after the first half they wouldn't have much chance of breaking double digits. They get 10 rounds on the board, but ENCE looked like the much better squad, even with their initial mistakes. Remember the gaps in the smoke, some coordination issues, but you can see why they like to play this map, and it's the first game of the tournament. They got the win on the board. A couple of errors to kind of look over, but apart from that, so far so good.
So far so good. We've switched things up on the desk, as many of you would have noted in the pregame. Alex is standing by with our other 2 lovely analysts.
So good you are. Thank you very much. That's Sadikist and Henry G. They'll be back. But first, to break it down, I do have the honor of being joined by none other than Pimp and Sean Gares. So, gentlemen, we didn't have too much time to talk about it in the pre-match, but now we can truly understand exactly what happened there. ENCE, they do pick up the win. Nuke was the map, and you didn't really get to touch too much on exactly how exciting that was for you, Jacob, but it wasn't what you were anticipating. Mirage Train at the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, and Dust 2 for that matter as well. I think that was definitely one of the maps it could have gone to. I think ENCE has definitely put in some work into Train. I think it looked very solid, and it was to me it was a classic ENCE performance where you always see them come in very solid, very structured. You know, it's not the most flashy games. It's not necessarily fun to watch sometimes, but they always get it done. And I think that's a counterpart to what Spirit is doing right now.
Yeah, and that's the most impressive thing when you watch ENCE play. Is they're such a young team, but they have so many layers and strats when you watch them. Even on a map like Nuke, they throw the wall smokes and they go down secret slow. They'll go fast outside. They'll do fast upper splits. They'll throw wall smokes and go slow into upper splits. I mean, they literally have such a wide variety of strats, and they won that match on that first T half. They almost won 2 ecos in the first half. They ended up winning 1. A very impressive game, in my opinion.
But I mean, their T rounds, I mean, was this kind of GG from the get-go when you have 9 on T side, or are you unwilling to kind of fall into the old narrative of Nuke, or is it still the same?
Yeah, I think Nuke has changed. I think T's can rattle off 9, 10 rounds halves pretty easily. I mean, we've seen Astralis do it time and time again. Yeah. Obviously, they're a different beast on Nuke. But yeah, there was chances for Spirit to come back into this game, and I actually thought they played a really good game themselves.
It very much depends on what team you're facing, right? I think when you have a team like ENCE that is so structured, well-founded, it's going to be tough to get more than 5 or 6 rounds on the T side. Whereas for ENCE, you know, the fact that they did get 9 against Spirit was a good start for them. So some teams, yeah, they're able to rattle up a lot of T rounds, but when you're playing a force like ENCE, who's just so structured and so fundamentally sound in the way they play, it's going to be very tough on a map like Nuke still.
Yeah, and we do actually have an opportunity to hear from how it was from the player's perspective. It sounds like Frankie's managed to grab Alexib, as Matt's been calling him. Let's see what's happening over on the player lounge.
I have indeed. Alexi V is with me now. Sadikist, you can apologise to him in person later, I'm sure. Now, on paper, should have been easy for ENCE, but something went a little bit astray at the start of your T side, didn't it, Alexi V? What happened?
I'd say it's just because of the first game, and we didn't know that much of how Spirit plays Nuke, but we were very confident on our own game. So.
And what did you do in that half-time break? Did you have a bit of a chat with Twist and with Alu about how you were going to play it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what went down in that conversation, Alexi V?
We just talked it through. Nothing much. We just had a good time.
Typical ENCE confidence. We'll get more of him later on in the major. I think there's going to be a few more interviews with this gentleman. Let's take it back to the desk.
Oh, I will forever love the Finnish Counter-Strike interview.
Tough nut to crack.
You know, I've got a feel for Frankie because you're never going to get... It's like trying to get water out of a stone. It really is. My goodness. Yep.
Okay.
The next question. But either way, they did put on a fantastic show. But you were giving some credit towards team spirit. I mean,
Yes.
we do have to make this quick. But Sean, what lessons did we learn about the CIS squad?
I think Davkos had a pretty good game.
Yeah,
we saw
on the
him
AWP as
opping
well.
around. Yeah, the trades in the lower bomb site were missing in the first half, and that's ultimately what cost them. But yeah, they have a lot of individual skill. I think their T side lacked depth, but
yeah.
Good first game for them. I guess ENCE is definitely one of the top teams in this qualifier.
Yeah,
Final words?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Spirit, we saw it during the CIS minor as well. It's a very solid team. You know, they play well off each other, and they have a lot of different players that can take over a game. We didn't get to see Sam Da-Young play too well in this one, and he's normally the star rifler for this team. So there's still some players that can unlock coming into the next matchup. So I wouldn't necessarily rule them out yet. But obviously, as you said, ENCE are one of the strongest teams here in the competition. So not too surprisingly as they end up losing.
Yeah, they really did get a tough first match. There's no doubt about that. But ENCE do pick up the foretold win, and we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we do come back, more Counter-Strike as the first day of the major continues.